welcome. My name's Caroline Balinska and I'm so glad to have you here. I am the founder of Just Ask Parker. If you don't know about our services, we offer help to smaller Shopify stores that really want to get into that first 1,000 sales and beyond. So all the training that I actually offer is to help people, especially when they don't know why they're not getting sales, or maybe they're starting to get sales but they're not sure in the direction that they're heading and they don't know what's working or what's not working. So in this video today, I wanted to go through your customer avatar. So maybe it's customer persona that you call it, or your ideal customer. I wanted to cover this off because I can tell you I've been in online marketing for over 15 years now, and it doesn't matter what you do, whether you sell a product online or whether you sell something else like a service online. But I can tell you that if you do not know your customer avatar, if you don't know who your ideal customer is, then you're never ever going to be successful. And that's not just something that I'm saying to make you think, well, I have to watch the video. I can guarantee you that every single business that has ever come to me to ask me for help, this is the first thing that I see that they're doing wrong. I've never had a customer come to me and say, no, I know my customer 100% and they're still failing. It just doesn't happen that way. Once you understand your actual customer very, very well, then you'll be in a position where everything else sort of works itself out. So you hear of a lot of people out there who say, I created a product because I had myself in mind and I've been really successful. And that's true because they're only targeting people like themselves. So that's how they've become successful really quickly without having to do all the writing and working all of this out. They know who their customer is. So if you're sitting there thinking, my customer is like me, you might be right, but maybe you're not targeting them properly. Maybe you're not saying the right words to them, or maybe you're in a situation where your customer is actually not you. And this is where an area that something that a lot of people say to me is that they say, my customer is everyone. That's usually the most common thing that I hear from people, and you might be watching this thinking the same thing. So when I say to someone, your customer's not everyone, it has to be more niche than that. They say, okay, well, it's men and women between the ages of 18 and 65. And the truth of the matter is, it's not who your customer is. You just have to look at the biggest companies out there and you'll see that that's not the case. Coca-Cola, they're not trying to target everyone. They end up getting a large amount of the market, but they're not targeting everyone because someone who's healthy and fit and believes in eating vegan food is not their customer. As much as Coca-Cola wants them to be, they realize that that is just not their customer. So that's why they've created other products, like they have a water that they sell, because they're not going to target everyone with their Coca-Cola brand. It's the same with Amazon. Amazon has tried to target everyone, but they realize that their minimum average income coming of people that use the Amazon services, the Prime service, is people that earn over, I think it's $21,000 a year. So once they understand that, then they can target the right people better, and then they can target people that earn less than that with different offers. So once you understand who your customer is, you will see that you have a lot more options. It doesn't actually close you off. It doesn't make your business smaller. It actually makes your business bigger and much, much better. So in this video, I actually want to go through and explain to you exactly how to work out your customer avatar, so then you can actually move forward knowing your customer, knowing who that customer is. You can actually get more sales. You'll be directing people to the right parts of your website. You'll be offering them the right offer, the right products that you sell. You'll be advertising to them with the correct words that they want to hear from you. You'll be targeting them in the correct places. So it's really important that you understand this, and this is something that you don't want to skip. Now, you can spend as much or as little time on this as you want. I've done trainings like this before, and I've said to people, I'll just spend half an hour on it. And I say that because I don't want to scare people off, but I'm going to tell you something really honestly. When someone works with me one-on-one, if I'm consulting with them or if I'm coaching them in their business, helping them get more sales, then I actually tell people to spend a lot more time on this. I had a client recently who spent 12 hours going through this and going into a lot of detail and understanding their clients, their customers very, very deeply. But on average, I think if you can spend anywhere from 2 to 5 hours doing this, you're going to know a lot more about your customers than if you spend half an hour. But at the same time, I'd rather you get in there and spend half an hour doing this than doing nothing at all. So if you're at the point right now and you think, oh, this sounds too overwhelming and it's going to be too hard for me, just put aside half an hour to begin with and try to do this. You can always come back to this later on, but if you can set aside 2 hours, then I highly recommend it because you're going to get a lot more information. And if you can spend some more time, even better still. So I'm going to go through this really quickly just to give you an outline. I've got here instructions, so I will have a link to these instructions as well, so you can actually read the instructions yourself at any time. But I'm going to go through this quickly, and when you fill out the document that I will be providing as well, first of all, don't fill out the document that I provide you a link to. That document is the business document that we use for our company, Just Ask Parker. And that means everyone has access to that and they can read it. So you don't want to be putting your information straight into that document. You want to copy and paste that information into your own sheet. So that's the first thing I'll tell you. Second of all, every time you create one of these avatars, a persona, a person, then you want to do it for each different type of person. So if you tell me that you found out that you've got one audience that's between the ages of 20 and 25 and they like to go on long holidays, that's one audience. And then you have another audience who is a 45-year-old single mother who has never been on a holiday in her life, then that's another audience. So just don't assume that that's all women in one audience. So the more you can break down the audience, the better. I would rather you have 10 different audiences that you've created, 10 different avatars that, we call them avatars or personas, the ideal customers. I'd rather you have 10 different ones of those and then you target each of them differently than trying to lump people together. So as soon as you start seeing big differences, put them into another document. So in that case, this document here, you could have 10 of these documents. You'd have up here, you'd write something like avatar 1, and then the next one's avatar 2, and you'd fill out one of these for each of your audiences differently, for each of your avatars differently. So let's get into it so then you can understand. What you need to know, first of all, you need to get a general idea, which is their age, their sex. Now, if you have got an avatar, a person that you think is between the ages of 20 and 25, I want you to turn that into a person and give it just an age. So say it's a 25-year-old woman and her name is Jenny, for example. And that's how you're going to sort of create an actual person, and that person will sort of be the basis for what the customer is. So it might be that she's 25 there and the customers might be 23, 24 as well, and that's no problems, but let's try to make them an actual person because it will help you to really target that person because they become a real person to you. So you also want to start to understand different traits about them, interests, lifestyle, values. You want to give them a name, you want to put a face to them. So if you can put an image in there at the top of the page that you can say, hey, this is the person. She might be a hippie that doesn't wear any makeup and doesn't worry about her hair color. And then your next avatar might be a girl who's 25 and she wears a lot of makeup and she goes to the gym and her hair color is always perfect. You can clearly see that there's two different types of people there. And then you sort of want to come up with their story. So here in this document, to make it easy, we have just created this document for you that you can fill out all of this information. So you can put in here all of their information, generation, that's really just to give you a sort of a broader outline. You can put them into the baby boomers category if you want to, or if they're a millennial, if that's the case. Relationship status, so go through all of these and work out who this person is. Now, if you're starting out and you think to yourself, well, actually my audience is everyone, then try to open up 2 or 3 of these documents at the same time and try to create 2 or 3 different types of people different types of customers, and you can base this on people that have already bought from you. You can see the locations that they're purchasing from. But if you don't have this information, I'm going to take you through and show you how you can find out some great places to find out who your customer is. So the first thing that I'd look at is your looking at media kits. So go to magazines.com, and when you're there, you want to type up in the bar here, you want to type the keyword. So I've put in here health. So type your keyword in there. It might be that you're talking about babies, you might be talking about whatever the niche is that you're talking about, gadgets, you might be talking about homeware, whatever it is, pop it in here. And then you'll get a list. I'm going to show you, you're going to get a list like this. It's going back. You're going to get a list like this of all the different magazines. I've typed in the word health and fitness, and these are all the magazines that pop up. So you're going to go through each of these. There's 2 pages. You're going to go through and find out each of these magazines and find the corresponding website with them. So Experience Life, you can do a Google search for it, Backpacker, and go and do a Google search, Oprah magazine, and find their website that coincides with their magazine. Once you're on their website, what you're going to find is that down the bottom, usually in the footer or sometimes at the top, you're going to find something that says something like this: advertise with us, or it's going to say media kit, or it's going to say work with us, something along those lines. 99% of them will have it, and you want to click on that, and you're going to end up over here at their media kit. Now, the media kit has been designed to make you spend money on advertising with them. So they really need to be honest about who their audience is. So you can start to say, okay, this magazine, it's called health.com, and I can say, okay, well, this is actually, these are the sort of people that read this magazine are the people who are going to be buying my product. Now, you might land on this and say, actually, no, the type of people that I'm going to be selling to don't buy this magazine at all. And then you just go away from it. But usually you'll say, okay, well, that gives me some ideas. And then you'll come down in this media kit and have a look at a few things here. We can see here print. So they've got a print magazine. Their audience is 8.6 million. Their average people are 35% males and 65% females that buy this magazine. Their average household income is $60,000 a year, which is pretty good, and their mean age is 50. So that sort of gives you an idea that these are the sort of people that are buying this magazine. So if your customer is going to be a 20-year-old girl, then she probably doesn't fit into this category here, or a 20-year-old guy. They probably don't fit into this, so then Health Magazine is probably not the place that they're going to be turning to, first of all, for their information. Then they've got their digital information here, and you can see here that the percentages are about the same, but the income comes down a little bit. So people who look online have a lower household income, not by a lot, but it's lower, and their age is actually a little bit lower. And then you can come down and you can see their social growth. They've got 6.7 million people on their Facebook, 3.5 on their Twitter, their Instagram account. And you can also see here from them their video views that they get on their videos. And then you also see their video franchises. So this helps you move on to the next bit. So the reason why you want to spend 2 to 3 hours, up to 5 hours doing this is because then you'll find out things like this. So we found Health Magazine, and then we say, okay, well, actually, they've got these other video franchises. They've got a beauty video series, which is called Beauty Scoop. Then they've got Hot Moves. They've got challenges. They've got all of these different ones. So now you want to start going to YouTube and finding these video franchises and finding out more about the sort of videos that they create. So for instance, if you look at Beauty Scoop and all of the videos are videos for women over the age of 50 of how to look younger, then you'll start to see that that's who their audience is for those videos. Or they might have a lot of videos on how to look good after pregnancy. So their audience is women that are having babies around that age. So that's the sort of information you're going to find out there. And you're going to start typing things into here. As you start to know it, you can type it into other, start writing notes in here. Okay, well, yes, my audience is a 50-year-old woman, so then that makes sense. So down here in entertainment, you can put the book Health, the magazine Health, as one of the magazines that she reads. And then also under fitness and wellness, it would come into there probably as well. And activities, you can start to say, okay, they're looking at these other videos, things like that that you can put in there. So what I would do is I'd actually go through all of those different all those different magazines and find out from each of them information like this about each of those magazines. You can start to see there, okay, well, I'm looking at fitness and health and there's gluten-free, so diabetic. Maybe that's more of my audience. Maybe there's people there. Arthritis Today. What this is going to build for you once you start doing this is if you want to start running ads, you can actually put links and say people who are interested in gluten-free, I want to send them an ad. People who are interested in Arthritis Today, I want to send them an ad. People who are interested in Oprah or in backpacking, they're the people, triathlons, there's yoga. So you can start to get an idea of what sort of interests your audience has. So that helps you fill out that part there. The next thing you want to do is go to audience interests, insights on Facebook to find out audience interests. Now, I've brought up two here. You just come up here, you go into your business settings and you click on create ad or manage ads. And then once a box pops up here, then you want to click up here and you want to go to all tools and you want to click here on audience insights and you can come to this page. Now I've pulled up two different ideas for you. I'd type into interests here, the interest that you have based on the magazines. You can easily do that here now, yoga, Oprah magazine, things like that. And you can choose an age group if you want to. So you could say 25 to 45, just to get a broad idea, and then you want to start getting down into more information. I'm going to keep it open at the moment because I want to show you something. So what I've done here is a particular client of mine, this actually works well for my client. So it's just to get an idea of the sort of audience there might be. It's not the exact industry, but it sort of helps. So skinny me tea is a big thing at the moment. And so I've typed in skinny me tea, and then here I've just typed in all fitness and wellness as another one. So I've got two tabs open. You can't see that, but I've got two tabs open. And I've got one just as fitness and wellness as an interest, and then I've got the other one as skinny me tea. And what I want to show you is how important it is that you spend a good half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours doing just this part alone, because you're going to learn so much. So just for example, this one I've just typed in skinny me tea, and this one I've typed in fitness and wellness, and you can already see fitness and wellness, we've put our audience at peaks 25 to 35, men, and then women is less. Now, if we go to skinny me tea, our audience peaks at a much higher amount of women than men. So if you would have just come to audience insights and typed in, I'm just going to look up all fitness and wellness and find out who my audience is, and then say, now I know because it's right there in front of me and that's it, my job's done, and leave and not do anything else, you're going to miss out on a lot of information. So it's really important that you go through this and do this really, really properly. Like I said earlier, the more you do this, the more time you spend on this, the more information you're going to find out. So you can find out here relationship status. So fitness and wellness, 51% are married. Whereas if we look at people that look up skinny me tea, 38% of them are married. So it's a huge difference when we look at that fitness and wellness compared to skinny me tea, meaning that they're single, they're probably on the younger side rather than the older side. We do have an audience here that says 25 to 35, but maybe this skinny me tea, they're sitting at the 25 years old, whereas the health and wellness, they're sitting more at this 34-year-old age. So understanding where people sit, it's important. Education level, this is important because if you're promoting something to a person who is on the lower end of education, Why would you be trying to get technical with them and using technical words? So by knowing their education level and where they sit, knows how technical you can get with people. So you might have a very, very technical product, but you don't want to try to overwhelm them with information that they're not going to understand. Apple is a great example of that. Apple does not talk about the tech side of their product at all. I look up the stats for a new laptop, for an Apple laptop, and I have to go looking for the stats. They're more about the feeling that it creates, what it does for you. And that's because they know that they're not trying to get tech people to buy their products, they're trying to go for the average consumer. So knowing their education level is important. And then we come down and see what sort of jobs they're in. So by knowing this, and you can see here legal services is only 3% of people who look at health and fitness. So you can start to say, well, am I going to bother targeting people on that sort of level of saying, hey, I know you've got a really hard office job that, you're probably in court all day. You just wouldn't use that because it's such a small amount of your audience. But we can see sales is a large part of the audience. So they're people that are probably in front of other people a lot more, talking to people. So you can target them in a slightly different way. Then we come to page likes. And for the words fitness and wellness, and then we come here for the word skinny me tea, we can start to see how different it is. So Fit Girls Guide is something for skinny me tea. That's what they're looking at. That's a group that they're in. Fit Rep app. There's an app. Now, straight away I think to myself, there's an app that these girls are using, these people are using. Can I advertise on that app? Can I get in front of the people at that app? Can I promote myself to that app? Premier Protein is a professional service that they're using. And if you click on them, you go through to the actual Facebook pages. Shreds Women, that's a vitamin supplement company. Hair Addiction is a magazine. So, okay, now we've just gone from health magazine. We know that they're looking at hair magazines as well. It means that these people that are about skinny me tea, they're very, very much about their looks. That's a very important part for them. So probably more than the wellness side of internally, they're looking at it from an external factor. So that's important to understand about the types of people that you're targeting. Here we can see that for the words fitness and wellness, we look at the different things that they're looking at. They're looking at travel agencies. They're looking at a gym, Planet Fitness. They've got IKEA as one of their things. When it's just the general fitness and wellness, IKEA comes up there. Old Navy is one of the brands that they're wearing. So that makes you think, okay, well, if that's one of the brands they're wearing, maybe the people in my photos have to be wearing those sort of clothing. I'm not going to be targeting this audience with ads where people are wearing exact opposite clothes from that. As an example, gothic clothes. You wouldn't be targeting this audience with people wearing gothic clothes, for example. Bad example, but it's just an example. So understanding the sort of style that they like, understanding the sort of things, okay, Lowe's home improvement. So they're doing things around their house. They're probably people that are more serious and trying to better their life in general. So have a look at these, and then we look at location. So if we look at these two different locations, we've got skinny me tea is very, very even across all of these parts of America. Whereas generally the word fitness and wellness, we can see New York is very high, and then California is much lower than New York, and then everything in between. So we can start to see the cities that people are going to be coming from. This helps you because you can start targeting these people on ads without wasting money on a whole lot of ads that are just useless because the other areas are not as common. So you can see all and you can see more and start going down more. But just targeting these top 10 cities, first of all, is going to change the way you spend money on ads. And I can tell you, this is exactly why people come to me and they say, Caroline, I've been trying to get sales on my website and no one's buying from me. And I say, what have you done? Oh, well, I spent $10 on Facebook ads for a week. So I spent $100 in total for a week and I didn't get any sales. And then I start to ask them questions like this. Have you worked out your customer audience? Well, no, I just targeted everyone who wanted to know about health and fitness, for example. And then I start to ask, well, did you target them in a certain part of America? No, I just did the whole of America. So then I could see, there's people all over that want my product. No, bad, bad, bad idea. Just looking at this alone gives me the top 10 places that I could have spent that $100 and gotten a much higher result than just trying to spend it across all the different parts of America. So do this research and do it properly. It's very important that you go through all of this. You can start to look at, the activity. When are they actually, what are they using? What are they doing online? And you can see here that you've got no one just on desktops. You've got a large percent are on iPhones. Great. So then 30% are on Android, is nearly 70% on their iPhone. That means you can run ads just to iPhone users and not to Android users if you wanted to. 3% are on computers. So in that case, why would you run a Facebook ad that targets people on their computer when you can turn it off? Or even if you're doing Google AdWords, you can turn off, depending on what they're viewing your ad from, you can turn off computers and just have people targeting, you can just target people on their iPhones or iPads. This is going to save you so much money because you've got wasted money here for impressions that is just going to take you nowhere at all. So it's very important that you go through this, try different interests in here. You can try to also see if you've already got pages that you have. You can see what your pages are bringing in the audience information. Try different interests, add different interests together. So you might say people like skinny me tea and yoga. So people who like both of them. And it changes that information for you. So now you can start to see the demographics. Demographic changes, the page likes change as well. So you can add 3 or 4 different things and you can say, okay, now look what's coming up. Whole Food Market, Zappos, IKEA's coming up for them too, which IKEA wasn't coming over here. IKEA was coming up, but it wasn't coming up here. Skinny taste. Okay, what's skinny taste? Let's go and have a look at that because that's something that matches with the skinny me tea. And that's just by adding the word yoga in there now because that's another interest that we know that people that we're targeting have. So once you start going through this, and I told you can spend 3 hours on this really easily and not get bored, you'll find out so much information and then you can start to fill in all of this information here. So by filling this in, you can create different customer avatars and you can keep all of that information separate. And this is going to move you forward to the next stage. So if you do want to work with Just Ask Parker, we offer services for Shopify store owners. And the way we work is that the more information you can provide us when it comes to your audience, it's going to make it better that when we create your business plan your marketing plan for you, or if we're doing your Facebook ads for you, if you could come to us with this already created, then we can actually help you go a lot deeper into marketing your business and getting more customers. This is going to help you across your advertising. It's going to help you. How are you going to write your emails? Because now I know, well, I can write emails saying, hey everyone, I've got a little article here about whole food markets that I think you'll be interested in. And we can see, looking at the audience insights, people will be interested in articles about whole food market. So make sure you understand your customer very in-depthly. I'd love to know how you go with this. Please send me an email and it's caroline@justaskparker.com. Let me know how you go with it. I'd love to hear some feedback. I'd love to know if you actually did this and the differences that you saw. Just shoot me an email because I love hearing from people who watch my video trainings. And if you do want to try out our services, please come and try us out. And I'm happy to give you a discount. We actually do a 7-day, $7 trial. You try us out for 7 days and you get access to everything that we do over that 7 days. Try us out and see how we can actually help you get more customers, help you build up your business, help you with your basic marketing tasks that you need done. And if you use the code AVATAR, AVATAR, if you use the word AVATAR, I will give you 20% off the lifetime that you're with us. So you pay the $7 for the 7-day trial, and then you go on to choosing which plan you want to take up. And while you're on that plan, you're going to keep that price. Your price won't go up, but also you keep that discount that you've actually gotten that 20% off. So that price stays with you while you stay with us. And we can definitely help you. You're best off trying out the services to see how we work. We definitely can help any business if they're in the stages of making under $20,000 a month. If your store's making less than $20,000 a month, then we're definitely going to be able to help you get to that next level. Make sure you do your customer avatar. Make sure you email me and tell me how you went with it. I look forward to hearing from you. And if you've got any questions, shoot me an email, caroline@justaskparker.com, and I'm happy to help you out and answer any questions you might have. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.